Alright, welcome everyone to Monday Night Training with Revolution Y. Guys, as usual, it's been one hell of a week, and you know what that means. Tonight's going to be one hell of a night. So let's begin with our agenda. Tonight we are starting with Bianca Giabega with a lovely training on Fibergy. And we have Samantha Pianchera for the first time. Actually, I just noticed I spelt your surname wrong there. On organizational skills. We have David Bolton on how to fire up your business. Looking forward to that one. And if we have time, myself with Convention 2014. Now, I want to start by introducing some new associates and welcoming, starting with Reece Fitzgerald, Danilo Podraskinen, Julie True, Wiki Tate, Sarah Layden, Samuel Webster, Luke Pittman, Corey Fitzgerald, Michaela Bridger, Theo Hill, James Todd, Matthew Davis, Mark Bernard, and Brittany Evans. Congratulations, guys. Now, top PC enrollers. In the whole entire country, in all of Australia, not just RevY, not just Sydney or Melbourne or whatnot. At number 5 in Australia, we have the Wiseman brothers, Adam and Jared, Jessica Collins, Rebecca Corney, and at 15 we have Alicia Barrett, Dylan Phillips, Harika Van Kollenberg, and 15 we also still have Lee Chuve, Christy Skin, Olivia Hillier, Reese French, and Sandra Fisher. Congratulations. Top associate enrollers. Number 8 we have my buddy Lee Chuve, 36, Bianca Giabega, Dominic Giabega, and Santo Aloysius. Congratulations. Massive effort. Top associates by rank. Top bronze director in the country. Number 2, Neville and Jody Murr. And number 3, Gerard Caradonna. Congratulations. Top gold. At number 4, we have Amy Bahaja and David Bahaja. And top silver, we have Bianca Giabega. New rank advancements. It's Bianca Giabega. Congratulations. So happy. And you know what? What an awesome segue. Because first up we have Bianca Giabega, who's going to be talking about Fibergy. Bianca is so deserving of silver. She is freaking amazing. I'm so happy. So whenever you're ready, Bianca, it's all yours.
Oh, Michael, you're making me laugh. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so guys, how are we all doing tonight? Are we pumped up? Are we pumped up to learn about our gut and how fiber is going to be your new best friend? Okay, so down or in the centre, I guess we're in Sydney. In Sydney on Thursday night and Friday, we had the luxury of having Dr. Monica and Gerald Lewis, Dr. Gerald and Dr. Monica Lewis here, and the biggest thing I got from, apart from all the wonderful things that they taught us, you guys can hear me, right? Yeah? Yeah, very good. Yes, you can. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, the biggest thing I got was fiber. How important fiber is to our diet. Okay, and yes, they spoke about all the other things like how we need our supplements and medications and all those different things. But fiber was one that really, really stood out. And us Gen Ys, we think, yeah, fiber doesn't taste great, we don't really care, whatever. But guys, you're just creating a really expensive we if we don't use our fiber. And I know I'm a culprit, and I bought my Fibergy last week on Friday when I was there, and I've started using it, and I'm already feeling 100% better. So I'm going to go through. What is fiber? So fiber explained. So we have indigestible plant materials, and it's not absorbed by the body. Fiber doesn't actually get absorbed. It's like a hammer. It's a tool that we need, and it is essential for good health. So why do you need fiber? Fiber has many health benefits even though it isn't absorbed. For example, whole grain plant foods contain fiber and tend to be low GI. So guys, this is great for fiber is great for anyone's health needs. It's not going to spike their sugar levels. which we know spiking of sugar levels contributes to, mood swings. It can contributes to cholesterol, obviously diabetes, even the menstrual cycle for women. So we know that having it low GI, we're not going to ruin anything else. We're actually going to help it. So how does it work? How does fiber work? Fiber cleanses the body and helps moderate blood glucose levels and appetite. And there are many different types of fiber. So when it says that it balances our appetite, there is a lot of fiber, about 8 grams of fiber in each individual or each serving of Nutrimilk. So you can see it's working there. So insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber slows down eating time and it stays in the stomach longer, triggering fullness. So it keeps you fuller for longer. And it helps move waste matter out of the intestine faster. What does that mean? It actually gathers everything that's stringing along in our intestine and it pushes it through. So that's why fiber helps regulate your number 2s. So it acts like a sponge, soluble fiber. It acts like a sponge. So it prevents cholesterol reabsorption and it allows slower blood glucose release. So again, guys, I'm not sure if you're aware, but sugar intake has a massive, has quite a big impact on cholesterol than we're actually told. So sugar intake scratches our artery walls. So by this, it's actually stopping that from happening. And it's also stopping the reabsorption of cholesterol that is in our blood when it melts and blah, blah, blah. Which is really important. So it's a prebiotic that provides nourishment for beneficial bacteria in the intestines. So a prebiotic is great because what that does is it's basically the host of the gut area. So it makes sure that our probiotics have a good place to live. Because as soon as we eat anything like that's fatty or high in sugar, anything like that, it actually kills a probiotic. So you're creating a bad area. It can't survive in that area. If we have a prebiotic, like a prebiotic and a great house, you could say, for our probiotics to live, they're going to work and last longer because they don't last too long at all. So we want to make them last as long as they can in a good environment. And natural places we can get that from is peas, beans, lentils, barley. So they're great sources, like food sources. Okay, so fiber and weight loss. Whole grains can help you maintain a healthy weight range. So adding fiber G to a Nutrimilk can help you feel fuller for longer. So if you have got people that are on the reset or people that have dropped down to the maintain process of their weight loss journey, but they're still not feeling full, they're still hungry, get them to add a scoop of fiber G or even half a scoop. Okay, depends. If they don't have fiber in their diet, you would start them on a teaspoon a day and generally at night time. Okay, so put that in there to keep them full longer. So only a teaspoon, because if we're adding too much fiber to our diet and we're not used to it, it's actually going to, and it goes through later in this PowerPoint, it's actually going to make you feel sick. So it's going to create a big volcano in your stomach kind of thing, and it's going to be uncomfortable for that person. And the last thing we want is someone to feel uncomfortable. So we're going to gradually add this extra fiber into our diet. So we're going to gradually feel this better difference, yeah? So you can add fiber G into your Nutrimilk to keep you fuller longer, and it's going to have better benefits on the body. So fiber and gut health. Fiber adds bulk, making it easier for waste to pass out. So that's basically what I was saying before about the soluble fiber. It's just creating a bulking agent, so everything is moving faster. So think of like a bottle brush cleaner, and then we know our intestines are gathered, like they've got crevices. So fiber G, basically what it does, it's like a brush cleaner. It goes in there and it cleans it out. So you've always got a clean gut. So are you getting enough fiber? So as we can see, this little picture on the side, we can see from the actual being of whatever it's nut, a fruit, a vegetable, whatever it is, you get your omegas and your proteins and everything from the actual bean. But the seed coat, so what it's coated in, has your fiber, your vitamins and minerals, and your embryo has your vitamins, minerals, and proteins. Okay? But generally, what we do is we So it says here, getting enough fiber can help to keep the digestive system healthy and reduce the risk of constipation, diverticular disease, hemorrhoids, and bowel cancer, according to the DAA. So most adults, we should eat at least 30 grams of fiber a day, and most of us are getting 20 grams a day. I can tell you, if I didn't have my fiber juice today and my Nutribol this morning, I probably wouldn't have got 20 grams. So are you getting enough? So basically what I was saying before, we peel our vegetables, we peel, our fruits, and, we soak our beans and stuff, and the skin generally comes off, so the outside. So we're losing most of our fiber, minerals, and vitamin Bs, which are really important. So guys, we need to be supplementing this, even if we are eating our vegetables and that, because we know once we cook them and all that, a lot of that is gone. Yeah? And good for your health. So high fiber foods are good for your health. If you're not used to a high fiber diet, which is what I was saying before, give your natural gut bacteria time to adjust to the changes you're making, and also drink plenty of water. So we need to, even though we're taking fiber G, we should be drinking a lot of water anyway, because we're taking our supplements, and we really want to help continually flush out those toxins. And water is a great way. Purified water is a great way to be doing that, you're helping it along, yeah? And bowel cancer. So this is a massive one, guys, and people don't think it's going to happen to them. Now, bowel cancer kills 12 Australians daily. So today, unfortunately, 12 people died of bowel cancer, and over 4,000 annually. It is the highest incident in the world. Now, kills almost as many women as breast cancer. That's pretty scary, isn't it? We don't hear about cancer that much, but more and more people are dying of it. And bowel cancer can lead, if you've got constipation or IBS, it's a chain effect. Like if we don't fix the immediate problem or prevent it from happening, this is what can happen. This is what it can lead to. And if you don't die from the bowel cancer, once a tumor's formed in that, if it's not localized, you generally have to be on a bag. Now, so people, it's not a very great way to go to the toilet and do your number twos, is it? So if we can prevent that from happening and make it a deal for people so they understand the importance of gut health, then you're going to get your message across better. And fiber G is not expensive. It's not that expensive at all. I think it's $30. And if you're only using your teaspoon a day, it's going to last you, good 2 months. So, love your gut. Choose breads with wheat germ intact. So choose breads with visible seeds for extra fiber and vitamins. Soy and linseed seeds may help with menopausal symptoms as well. So guys, again, it's having a double effect. But also Bergen bread is really good. It's got a lot of seeds in it, and that's high in protein. Okay, so that's another great bread. So our white breads and our whole grain, our wholemeal breads are basically the worst to eat. So if you're going to eat a white, make sure at least it's got some grains in it. And if we can get to our Bergen bread, that's going to be even better. So how much is too much? Increase fiber intake slowly, like I mentioned before. A sudden switch can lead to abdominal pain and inflatulence. Very high fiber levels, over 40 grams a day, may reduce absorption of minerals. Example, iron, zinc, and calcium. So guys, here we're stuck. If we're not having enough fiber, we're not going to be absorbing our supplements and the nutrients from our food. If we're having too much, we're going to block the absorption because it's going to be clearing out faster than it can be absorbed. So a tablespoon of fiber G has 12 grams. So if you know you're eating a pretty balanced fiber diet, you know that 1 tablespoon would be enough. Yeah? So just make sure you're not having too much. Okay. And then fiber G plus. So why is our fiber so great? Well, it bridges the gap if you're low in fiber. It helps waste removal and provides twice the fiber per serve like any other fiber supplement on the market in Australia. So guys, I think it was like you need to have 16 Metamucil tablets, and it's the same amount of fiber as having 1 tablespoon, or flattened, level tablespoon of fiber G. And it also has psyllium husk, which is great because so if you have the runs, it's actually going to, thicken, regulate is a better word, your number twos. And if you're constipated, it's going to regulate that and soften it, so it's easier to remove. So it's great on all levels. It has a different combination of fibers which our body needs. Okay, so flavorless benefits. So each serving contains 4 grams of psyllium, soluble fiber, and 3 grams of inulin. So it's formulated without gluten, dairy, and soy, and made from natural mixed dietary fiber sources. So people that say they're gluten-free, they can't have the fiber, well, if they can, and it's vegan-friendly. Okay, and this is being reformulated. Again, Dr. Monica Lewis, she pushed for that because it had sugar in it before, and she thought, well, that's just really pointless. So they reformulated it, and now we have a better quality, not so flavorsome fiber. But guys, if you can't take it in water, add it to your Fibergy. Maybe put it with some, fresh juice. So put it in your smoothies in the morning or whenever. But yeah, it's really important. And using Fibergy again, so you can mix it in one level tablespoon, is that 14 grams, into your Nutrimil with 2 scoops of Nutrimil, or you can put it in some juice like I just said. But at night time, Dr. Monica recommended that you have even half a tablespoon with some water just before you go to bed. Why did she say just before your bed? Because at night time we know that that's when our body is resting and it's repairing, and that's when all our little bacteria and that good bacteria go out and work their magic. So she said for them, they need to be in a restful place. If we have Fibergy before we go to sleep, it is actually a calm environment for them to work and look after our guts. So guys, next order, for those of you who aren't in Sydney, I would recommend you put a bag of Fibergy on there if you don't already have it. And guys in Sydney, make a trip this week to headquarters and go and get your bag of Fibergy and get your whole family and your customers onto it. So if they're not feeling a big difference from their supplements, just ask them, what's your fiber intake? And they might say to you, oh, I don't really have much fiber. Then recommend them. And send them some product information. I had a lady that was on the reset, and she did really, really well on the reset. Then she went to 2 shakes a day, and now she's dropped back to 1. And she stopped taking her shakes. And I asked her why. She said that she, had a lot of wind. And I asked her about her fiber, and she said she didn't have that problem in her 2 shakes or on the reset because she was having a lot of fiber from the shakes. So I recommended to her to start using fiber, and she started this week, or she started on Wednesday last week. So I'm going to follow up again and see how she's going on it, because it's a very, very important thing. And if they're having a lot of problem, just add a probiotic on your tongue. You don't have to mix it with water. Just put it on your tongue with your fiber at night, and it will work more magic than you're already feeling. So that's all from me, guys. Hope that was, informative. And yeah, back to you. Back to Michael? Okay, is there a question here? Hang on, let me just look at these questions. How often should I take it throughout? David, you don't need to, are you even talking about, hang on. Are we talking about Fibergy? Bianca, where can you create the fiber? You can take it, it's recommended to take it at night time, just before you go to sleep. If it's in your shake to keep you fuller longer, whichever meal you feel you need to be fuller longer on, put it in that one. But still, even though you have a scoop in your shake, still have half a teaspoon at night time before you go to sleep. Okay, anyone else got any questions for me before I leave? No, if we have any questions at the end, or just message me. I've even added my sister. Oh, good, Michaela. Okay. Bianca, where do you create a personal website? Okay. Thanks, Amy. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you. I don't know who I'm passing it to.
Thank you, Bianca. That was phenomenal. Always good value. A lot of helpful information. Next, we have Samantha Panchiera with organizational skills. So I'm going to hand it over to Samantha. Samantha, whenever you're ready, you're all good to go.
Thanks, Michael. Bianca, that was a really awesome training. Thanks for sharing all that information. I'm just going to share my screen and hopefully this works. Can you guys all hear me? Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. So sorry guys, I got to put this on PDF reader because my other program isn't working very well, but that's all good. So we're good to go? Waiting for a thumbs up. Okay, I'm going to get started. So I'm really excited to share with you guys. This is my first time sharing on training. And I'm going to be talking about organization and productivity. For those of you that know me, you probably have learnt by now that I'm an organization freak. I'm a bit OCD about it. James just came and gave me a thumbs up saying that sort of thing was working, so that's good. But it is so important in this business to be nice and organized because our whole life we're being told what to do. So we've come from school where we're told what to do by teachers. When we're studying, we're told what to do by lecturers. Almost all the time, even when we're driving in the car, we've got street signs telling us how fast to go, when to stop, that sort of thing. And in this business, we're not on our own because we're working in a team, but our productivity is completely up to us, what we get done in a day. And we're not paid by the hour in this business, as I'm sure all of you guys know, so it's not like we can slack off and get paid for nothing. So it's really important what you bring to the hour. Brad did a training a while ago on what's your hourly rate. And even though we don't get paid by the hour, you've got to think about that. So what do you bring to an hour? And do you think you deserve to be, what do you think you deserve to be getting paid for it, kind of thing? So I'm going to go over personal productivity first and just give you guys some ideas of what I do to help me stay organized. The first thing I did when I started this business is James and I went and bought a business folder. So we wanted something that we could keep absolutely everything in all together and take to our presentations, to our trainings and everything. So I just put a picture. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly, but that's something like what ours looks like. It has a notebook in it, it has a place for plastic sleeves, and then it just has some pockets for other things that you want to put in it. We got ours from Officeworks. I think it was about $30, but you don't have to spend that much. I'm sure there's other cheaper alternatives and stuff. What we have in ours, our first page is our why and our motivation. So I think that's really important. So you stay motivated when you open it up, you get a little bit inspired, you feel excited for your day's work, that kind of thing. Also, when people at appointments see your folder and you open it up and it's got all these inspiring images, they might ask you about it and you can start talking about it, say, well, this is what this opportunity is going to do for me, this kind of thing. Ours has just the sign of basic information, so terms and conditions, earnings, that kind of thing that we got with the startup pack. That's not very important, not the most important thing, but I would say forms, price lists, extremely important. Always keep forms on you. You don't want an associate keen to start up and then you don't have a form to get them started. We're running a professional business, so it's really important to always be ready for those sort of things. I keep my certificates in mind. Again, it motivates me, it excites me, and you can see yourself progressing and getting better. It's nice to open up and see the letter for new associates. When you go up ranks, you get certificates and you get a letter congratulating you on your success. And it's really, really exciting to see that sort of thing, and it keeps you nice and motivated when you open up your folder and see that. I put my paychecks in mind, but this is obviously not something you have to do. I just do it to keep everything together. But as I do the business for longer, I'll probably get a separate folder for paychecks and that sort of thing. In our front pocket, we have 2 newspapers at least. You don't want to just carry around one newspaper, because if you're at a presentation and the person asks to take it home, or you give it to them to take it home, you don't want to be left not carrying one around just in case you need it for something else. So it's always important to be really prepared. I keep my comparison guide in it for presenting, which is the guide that rates all the supplements from 1 to 5. A product booklet, those are just those little ones. I actually haven't used those too much, so you don't have to worry about that. Maybe I'm a bit over the top, but I keep a few of them in there as well. Samples, I keep, that's because usually when I have a presentation, I'll bring samples, but just in case you have to rush from one to another, or you have to go straight after work, something like that, again, it's always important to just have some extra just in case. Pens, I know this seems really obvious, but again, you don't want your associate or preferred customer keen to start up and get some products, and then you don't have a pen and they feel like, you know, they're causing you trouble by, you know, you've got to go find a pen, that kind of thing. It also looks a bit unprofessional as well. And like I said, ours has note paper in the back. That's just, you know, if you need to scribble things down, write down products when you're talking, maybe if they've done the health assessment, or trainings when you're there, taking notes, that sort of thing. Scrap paper is always good to keep around as well. So those are the main things I always take with me when I go to an appointment, and even when I go to trainings as well. I definitely recommend this to everyone, even if you don't get a folder like this. Girls, you could get a handbag or something, like a business handbag if you want to be a bit more fashionable than me, or guys, a laptop bag, that kind of thing. But definitely make sure you're always prepared and always carrying around some products, forms, those sort of things. Also write down the bottom tax folder. So I have a separate folder where I keep all my tax receipts, which is really important, because you don't want to have some receipts in your wallet, some on your desk, some here, some there, and then when it comes to tax time, you can't find them all to claim them back. So I have a tax folder. It's just a plastic sleeve folder, and I keep that at home. I don't take that with me, and when I get home, usually put all my receipts in that. I categorize it into like food and lunch and coffee, auto orders, events, and then I have one for convention as well. So now I'm going to go on to digital organization, because obviously not everything you can keep with you, and now almost everything's digital. So starting with personal development, I have about 400 personal development audios, and I have them all on a playlist on my iPod. If you don't have an iPod, obviously that's fine. You can just put them on your phone or on a disc, or even on your computer. What I would recommend to keep them organized is to put them in their own playlist, because if you're like me and you have a lot of songs on your iPod, when you scroll through them all, you're not going to scroll through and find all of the personal developments that you want to listen to, that sort of thing. It's going to make it a lot harder. So I have my own playlist that's called personal development, and I've sorted it by album instead of by alphabetical order. And that's just so I can plug it in my car, because we all know how important personal development is, and I'm quite busy. I'm not as busy as some other people. I don't work full time, but the best time for me to fit in personal development is on my way to work. So I just literally plug it in when I sit in the car and press play, and because it's sorted by album, it just plays one to the other to the next kind of thing. And that's really convenient. Again, you can do that on your phone or on your computer as well. I keep all my notes from training digital now. I used to print them and put them in that folder that I had when I didn't realize how much training we actually did in this business. I was a bit naive and thought all the training happened at the beginning and then all the doing happened after, but it's not like that. We're always training, we're always learning in this business, which is absolutely awesome. So I realized really quickly that I couldn't print it all up and keep it in that folder. So I upload all of I take all notes on my iPad and then upload them to Dropbox, which I'll talk about a bit later. You can still print them off if you want to read through them, but it's really good to take notes and keep them with you, because there's no way you're going to remember everything from a training, especially if you go one after the other. Sometimes there's a few trainings in a row, and you want to be able to look back at your notes and think, oh yes, I remember that. That was really useful. This, that kind of thing. Tracking progress. So I have some screenshots for this one. I don't know if you guys can see, but on the top left, the big picture, what I've actually done is, you know, Jim Rohn says to know your numbers, that sort of thing. I keep track of all my earnings. I started doing this for tax, and then I found it really motivated me, so I didn't stop. I really like doing this. It really motivates you to get a good paycheck on there. And just recently, I've put auto order next to it. So the first column says earnings, the next column says auto order. And what I did is I tracked how much I've spent on my auto order, so I can know when I'm making a profit. And this isn't something you have to do. And I don't know if you guys can see the numbers there, but you don't have to spend as much on your auto order as I do as well. I'm a bit crazy. I absolutely love the products. I'm like Amy. So I spend heaps and heaps of money on them. But we teach you how to keep the costs down and everything, so don't freak out if you're a new associate. But this was really gave me the kick up the bum I needed kind of thing, because I saw that I thought I was making, you know, pretty good checks and stuff, but I thought I hadn't actually made a profit yet, which really, it actually excited me. I thought it gave me a new goal to reach for, that sort of thing. So if that's something you think would be a good idea to do for yourself, just putting that one out there as well. And the last column I have there is presentations. So I've put down all the presentations I've done and what the results were as well. So again, this could be a bit over the top, I don't know, but I really like knowing my numbers, and there's no way I can remember the results. I haven't got a very good memory. That's actually why I write everything down. But it's really good to look back on them and see yourself improve as well. So on the right hand side, I have my no, or in brackets not yet, tracking. So if you see the squares, as I get no's, I fill them up. I fill them up in red. And down the bottom corner, you can't really see, it says rank in brackets. So what I did is put the date at the top and put my rank, and I'm going to fill them all up as I get no's, and when I get to the end, see what rank I am, because there's no way, there's 100 boxes there, there's no way you can get through 100 no's and not get some yeses. So that's a good way to motivate yourself. Brad and David taught me that one. And it's really cool as well, because you start to look at no's differently. You think, oh no, I wanted that no, I can't put it on my chart, kind of thing. And the last thing is a follow-up chart. So we all know how important following up is. I write down the people that I need to follow up, but as well as that, I write down the people I'm working with directly and who they're talking to. So if one of my downlines says, oh, you know, I'm talking to this person and they're really interested in this, that, there's no way, if I've got 3 people telling me that, I'm going to remember everyone they're talking about. So this is just a personal thing, because I want to help my downline and work with them. But this isn't something that, you know, you should be expected to do. You shouldn't be expecting your upline to do this. But I do this because I literally have a terrible memory, and it's really helpful when David says to me, oh, how's this person going? Because, you know, I might have been talking to, you know, 5 other people and forgotten to follow up with one of them. So I do this with my downline and write down the people they've told me they're talking to, just write down their names. Then I'll say, oh, you know, how's this person going? And they'll say, oh, you know, this happened, that kind of thing. Just so that you can remember, because honestly, that's 90% of the reason. I'll go through how important writing stuff down is, but just so it's so hard to remember all the new people you talk to, that sort of thing. So it's just a way of helping your downline. Again, if you're like Amy or Brad and you have an absolutely huge team, it'd be impossible to do this for everyone. But I would definitely recommend it for people you work very closely with. So here I've just put a screenshot of the Adobe Reader app. So I keep this on my iPad and I have all of the product sheets on there. So I don't know if you guys know how to get the product sheets when you log into Usana, but you can just ask your upline and they'll tell you. But I find them really handy because I'm not very good with all the health products, and if anyone asks me about them, I can just whip this out and show them one of the product sheets. I've got an example. They ask about the essentials. You can just show them this rather than trying to explain it all if you're not very good with health like me. And I actually did this to learn about the health as well. This is an awesome way to kind of teach yourself about all the products as well. So I've put down there, it's login. You log into Usana, click menu, eLibrary, and then there'll be a title that says products. And you can literally download them in PDFs. So that's really cool to keep on your iPad. I have in my Adobe Reader, I have all our presentations as well. So if I am out and about and I don't have a newspaper with me, that's really handy to have there as well. So team organization. So this is just as important as, organizing yourself, because we do work as a team. And so these are our three main ways of keeping our team organized. We have the Facebook page. I'm not sure if every state has one of those, but that's a really good way of talking about local events. And we put motivational quotes, motivational videos, that sort of thing on there as well every now and then. But for keeping everyone up to date with local events, it's really, really helpful. The next one is we have our own Perth Dropbox as well. This was a way of backing up notes. So all the notes we did at training for people that couldn't be there, we would upload the notes, and then everyone has the login and they can just log in and have a look at the notes. We've also got personal development, that sort of thing on there. So I've got a picture here. And we have the basic trainings there as well. So basically in this Dropbox, we have everything that everyone needs, like personal development, trainings, audios, those sort of things. So no one really has any excuse that they can't access them. Calendar. So this has probably been the best thing that we've done as a team. When we used to book appointments, it was very hard because we just because David was the only one presenting, and a few of us would message David saying, can I book you in for this time? Can I book you in for this time? Poor David would always have to be around his phone, and answering. And if he didn't answer right away, maybe the prospect would, have plans, and by then that sort of thing. And it was a very unorganized way of doing things. So what we did is we made a team calendar. All we did to do this was made a Gmail account, and once you've made a Gmail account, you can just log in with that account to Google Calendar, and anyone that has it has the login details, can add events and that sort of thing. So what we teach new associates to do is synchronize it with their phone or their iPad or their computer, and they can, when they have an appointment to book in, they just add it in themselves, and obviously the presenters will write when they're not available, those sort of things. So everyone has instant access to what day is free, what time's free. This is really, really good when we're running as well. David's going to do the training on running, but when we used to be running and there was 5 of us trying to book an appointment at the same time, and we were at one stage we're writing the appointment times on Facebook, but by the time David had updated the Facebook, we might have double booked and those sort of things. So this has been absolutely awesome for organizing all of our appointments and that sort of thing. Okay, so writing things down on paper. This is so important for productivity. The main reason I think being is that when we write notes down on our phone or when we write them on our iPad can turn off or it can lock, and so can our phone, or we can exit the notes app that we write it in, and then it's not in front of us anymore, and it's so easy to forget or get distracted by other things. So whenever each day I write down everything I need to do for the day. So just the way we break down our goals, so we all know that we break down our goals into smaller goals so that they're more achievable. We should be doing this with our daily to-do tasks as well. So I have a weekly schedule of everything I want to do, which is it's really awesome to organize your week, because for those of you that are working, this business isn't a lifestyle change. It just fits in with our lifestyle. So it's important that we fit it in. So for those of you that are working full time, make your own schedule and write out what you want to do each day, weekly, in a week. And then when it comes to that day, I write down everything I want to do in that day to make it more specific. So that's what I mean by breaking it down again. So if you have Monday is prospecting day, prospecting and personal development, that kind of thing, what prospecting are you going to do? How many people are you going to prospect? Who are you going to prospect? So you've got to really break it down, otherwise it's very easy to kind of get lazy with it. So another great thing about writing it down is that you can see it getting done. You can see exactly what you need to do for the day, and you can see yourself crossing it off, and you know when you're finished everything you'd like to do for the day. If you kind of take each hour as it comes and say, oh, I might do this for this long and not sure what I'm going to do next yet, then you'll never know when you can relax or when you can switch off, kind of thing. Because this business, we don't want to do a little bit all day. We want to put in 100% in an hour or 2 hours, that sort of thing, just like Brad said. So that's really important as well. When we do runs, we write down all of the names of the people we're going to talk to. So I know we all have a contact list, but our contact list, has hundreds of people on it, and it can get quite daunting, kind of, if you're thinking, oh, like, how am I going to talk to all these people, that sort of thing. So what I like to do is when I do a run, I dedicate a piece of paper to that run. I put what rank I want to be, and I write down about 20 people I want to talk to in the first day. And then once I get through those people, I add another group of people, just to break it down and make it much easier for yourself, rather than kind of intimidating yourself. So this is just an example of what I would do. This is on the left is my notes for this training. It's important to write it down as well so you remember, because I have a shocking memory. So as soon as Brad said I'm doing this training, I wrote down all the ideas that were floating around in my head, because if I just left them for the next morning or for when I made the presentation, half of them I think would have been gone. And then on the other side, I have what it'd look like if I was going to plan a run. So I find out exactly what points I need, starting from scratch, and then work out where I'm at. And I would actually write down all the names. I did this one on my iPad just as an example, because on the other pieces of paper I had to have everyone's names, and I didn't want to post that publicly just for their sake. But this is kind of what it would look like, and then I'd have a list of names and my available times, that sort of thing as well. Just to finish up, I've taken a screenshot of my favorite apps for productivity. So I know that we're not all expected to have iPads and all that sort of stuff, but those of you that have phones, you can get all these pretty much on your phone. And if you have Samsung, I have a Samsung phone. There's all Android versions as well, or very similar ones. But in the top right hand corner, I have pages, which I take all of my notes from trainings. That's where I put all my notes, and it's really easy to upload them as PDFs from that. Numbers is where I keep my contact list. I keep it on my iPad because I like to keep it organized alphabetically. So that's why I have it on my iPad. But if you have your contact list written in a book or on paper, that's cool as well. But that's where I did all those other things as well, like tracking my earnings, that sort of stuff. Notability is a note-taking app. It's really cool because you can draw and you can paste pictures and that sort of thing. It's pretty much like a scrapbook. So I got that one for free. I'm not sure if it's free anymore because James tried to get it and it wasn't. So, but I'm sure there's very similar ones you can get. TinyScan is an app that Sina told me about, and it is really, really good because you just take a photo of a document and it turns it into a scan. And I take a photo of a form, you click email, and you can email it straight to USANA. So that's really convenient. At the top 3 apps are USANA apps. I have the one to see my points on the left, the main USANA app. And I don't know if you guys can know, but on Apple you can actually go to a web page and turn it into an app. So I can't tell you exactly how to do it right now, but if you ask, I can show you how. But I've done that for the main USANA web page and for the tree health assessment too, because it's nice and easy to get up if I have someone that wants to do the tree health assessment. And the last 2 apps I want to show you is this one that says download. It's called Video Downloader, and that's where I download all of my personal development videos. So I know we have audios and everything, but for the ones that you need to watch, that's a really handy app. It downloads them really quick, and you can store up to about 15 at a time, I think. And Keynote as well, that goes with pages and numbers. That's really good for PowerPoint presentations. One more thing I just wanted to quickly add in that I forgot is for those of you that are struggling to get personal development done because of how much it's costing you to stream it on your phone, there's a website called YouTube to MP3. So if you just Google YouTube to MP3 converter, you can literally take any YouTube video and turn it into a MP3 file, and that way you don't have to use your internet to stream it. So it won't cost you any money because you don't want to be spending money, like spending ridiculous amounts of money on downloads and that sort of thing. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening. I hope that you got something from that. And I hope I didn't take up too much time. I think I did, so I'm really sorry.
That was phenomenal. That blew my mind. Sam, you are a professional. I loved it. I'm downloading the apps now. Guys, up next we have David Bolton, who's going to be talking about how to fire up your business. Really looking forward to this one. David Bolton, the stage is yours, my friend.
Hey, sorry guys, I just cut out my internet, my internet cut out for a bit there. Could you just message just 100%, make sure you can hear me nice and smooth and clear and all that? Awesome, sweet. Cool, I'm excited. And I apologize in advance if you hear screaming siblings in the background. Just notify me if they annoy you and I'll run out with my shotgun and blow some heads off. Just going to share my screen, bear with me. Alright, cool, I think that's it. Is it? Yeah, that's it. Hey Mike, if I end up cutting out or something, could you just shoot me a message on Facebook? And I'll do my best. Awesome, cool. So yeah, tonight I actually requested to share on this training just because I think what I've learned over the past 3 months after I went director is just something I need to share with you, because the past 3 months are something that I've never experienced in a business or in this business before. And what I've learned through it is like just, I don't think anything that you learn from anywhere else. You do get a little bit of this and that, and you get the elements, but this is, I'm going to go into the physical, analytical, little bit metaphorical elements and key points to explode, because we know how to build a business, we know how to access the training for the skills, we know how to access the personal development. But I'm going to teach you, or share my experience, not teach you because I'm still learning, obviously, but just share where I've come from, because I don't know if you guys know, but there's been 2 times in the past and in the past 3 months where we actually had the intention to run for silver, and we set the intention. It didn't feel 100% right. We didn't end up following through because something was missing, and after a few lessons from Brad, we got it all in the bag. It felt right. We made it happen, and I'm just going to sort of share the difference between what happened then and what happened this time to make it happen. And silver is it's one of those ranks that you do run for. A lot of the other ranks you can just sort of do in a big week. I think director and above is, there is some exceptions. But the next steps after silver, gold and beyond. So it's one of those things that when you get to it, you're really heading into that full-time income section of your business. So I'm just going to explain how I explode my business, how we go about it in Perth, and what we do. And it is going to be very analytical, because I just find myself as a very analytical type person. So I'm just going to share why running, sprinting, or pushing, or whatever you want to call it, is very important. A lot of people seem to take it for granted and think, oh, just build a solid business, steady, over time. But you do need to push. If you don't push, you're not really going to get anywhere. And I say that from personal experience, because there's been times when we'll push, and then I'll feel like, okay, it's going to take care of itself, or I'll just go on autopilot, or I'll just maintain, or whatever. And your growth seems to fluctuate. It doesn't really get anywhere fast. It does grow, but too slow. And business loves speed and nothing else. So first of all, the reason running is so important is a thing called momentum. And before you run, you need to create this. And while you're running, sorry for the screaming child, while you're running, it creates more momentum. And momentum really is, really sort of determines how quick you're going to grow in what amount of time, and how successful that growth is going to be. So first of all, momentum is the ultimate exaggerator. It can make anything small or anything not so great into something that is great, and it's very attractive. If you're hanging around a bunch of people that are very excited, they have a lot of momentum, and they're enthusiastic, people want to join just for that reason. So I think momentum is probably one of the biggest keys of running, and it's something that you establish through a run and before a run. Momentum makes difficult challenges look fun, and the reward is more appealing. So the more difficult the challenge, the better, and the better the reward afterwards. And when you have momentum, these challenges are fun. You'll be in the midst of it, and it'll be a bit up and down, but afterwards you just step back and have a laugh, because it's so rewarding. And you know that when you're having a hard time during a challenge, that the reward is going to be awesome. And I'm telling that from personal experience. So you need momentum as well. So you need momentum to operate your business to the maximum capacity that you can. So without momentum, your business is almost dysfunctional. If you have no momentum and nothing's really happening in 1 week, and then something happens like a PC or an associate pulls out, then that's a massive step back. But if you had momentum, it wouldn't matter, because you replace it tenfold and times it by 3. So again, momentum is hard to create, and it's very easy to lose. So it's very fragile, but it's so important. So it can be annoying, but it's also awesome when you have it, and that's why it's so rewarding, I think. So, and how do we get it as well? I think an easy way to create momentum in your team, logically, I thought when I first started sprinting alone, and trying to plan out particular runs and create my own momentum, I'd start with the heavy rocks first, thinking, okay, I've got this associate, he's not that motivated, but he's set up that if he did X amount of work, he'd go builder or he'd go achiever. So, you know, that might fire him up. Let's make it happen. And then I talked to that person, they'd be unresponsive. They didn't desire it. I desired it more than they desired it for themselves. So what I've learned is that you need to just let that happen. It's very natural in a business, and what you need to do is see the ones that are on fire and chuck fuel on it. So what I mean by that is just saying, I can't really explain it. And by the way, throughout this training, I will just say a lot of random stuff, but I hope you get the feel of what I mean. I just can't really put a lot of it into words. But grab the ones that are on fire and light them up. And then the rocks will start to roll, the heavy rocks. So when other people see other people around them, especially people that have started their business after them, getting moving and succeeding, and think, wow, like, you know, I can do this. And then they start to pick it up as well. And then the ones that don't even worry about them. That's natural. So as well, to create momentum, and the people that you do pick will be the ones that deserve it and desire it, not the ones that want it, and the ones that will work for it as well. So the ones that will take the action necessary and won't sort of just do this and that and be a little bit lazy with it. So who are these people? I just want to share a little quote that I heard, which is sort of a factor of which associates, you know, might see less success than some that do, and also people that don't get started to people that do get started. So I hope you understand this as I read it. People act as if they don't like being told what to do, but if they told themselves what to do, they wouldn't do it. Meaning that people join USANA, you know, with the intention to sort of, yeah, I'm going to fire the boss, this is my ticket, I'm out of here, blah, blah, blah. Yet when they're in the position to control this type of situation, they're not used to not having a boss. They're not willing to give themselves a push. They can't motivate themselves. They're too lazy, and they don't get what they set out for themselves done. So really, they do like a boss. They just don't like having a boss, if that makes sense. They're very comfortable with a boss. They like being told what to do. These people are losers. You don't want to associate with them. They'll make you sad just being around them. So you need self-motivated people when you run, because they're people that are going to take action behind the curtain. So it's all fair and well, you know, prospecting together as a team, but when someone goes home, the people that are still prospecting and that are up till 12 a.m. getting the job done are the people that you want to run with. So for me, one of the biggest mistakes I made with my runs that I failed with, and I did fail in those runs, but it's okay to fail. I think I learned the biggest lessons in my entire business by doing that. Is don't just pick anyone that, you know, wants a run. Like I said, go back to that desire, go back to who deserves it, and see who's good enough to run with you because you take it seriously. This is something that Brad taught me, and this is just another big lesson that I learned from, you know, the previous runs to this run, or sprint or whatever you want to call it, was fill your funnel. So, and I broke this down throughout what I learned to not just, you know, having the prospects there and having the contact list there, but just planning, preparing every element, be creative about it before you commence, not presenting, but just even inviting. So what I've learned was the biggest key to getting the run and the momentum that we were talking about off to the best start possible was spending 3 days prior to the presentation commencing. So what I mean by that is when you start presenting for the run week, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Spending 3 days prior to that, planning, preparing, and scheduling. So by planning, I mean contact list. By preparing, I mean getting everything ready, getting backup stuff ready, getting follow-ups ready, getting PCs ready. Not just like not getting them ready, but getting yourself ready and getting the content and I guess the database there ready to access. And make sure your database is at least 30% bigger than what you need, at least. I'd say 50%. And then scheduling when the run is going to happen, exactly when it's going to happen as well. So I'm just going to sort of share how I think you'd go schedule-wise, and this is where sort of the analytical stuff starts to come in. Later I'm going to share why pushes and things like that have been very beneficial to me and how they could be beneficial to you as well. So depending on how you feel, directed can be sort of like a 1.5 week thing. Whereas, you know, for the first part of the first week, you're just, so like from Tuesday, Wednesday, you're just doing that planning, preparing that we were talking about, booking presentations for the end of the week to go in that Saturday. and then, you know, going full out from Sunday to Friday and just finishing everything off. So it should be a real bursty and just a big week when you're going for director. I don't think it's something you plan for like 3 to 4 weeks or anything like that. It's a bit too much. And yeah, so Thursday booking presentations, Thursday to Friday and following up. Yeah, so Thursday and Friday should just literally be following up appointments and any emergency backup, you know, points flowing through and things like that. And silver is the same as director, but just add an extra 5 days beforehand that you're presenting. So I don't think, another thing I've learned is you can't hold off forms too long. So for those that have, you know, experienced or learnt about, you know, business pushes, you know what I'm talking about. You can't hold off forms really for longer than 3 days. Because if you say like, oh, your form will go in a week, then just naturally as humans, and especially in Australia, we find every excuse that we can naturally to avoid commitment if we can find a way out, sort of thing, even if it's beneficial to us. That's just the sad reality of it. So plan an appropriate way to follow up with a minimum of 20 past prospects. So what I've learned, another thing, massive element that I've learned that really benefited me and the team, especially this time, was following up really is the fortune of your business. Most of, or a lot of, about 30 to 40% of the people that got started in this run, or a lot of my prospecting and a lot of the team's prospecting was follow-up prospecting. So where you talk to people that you've already presented to that, you know, weren't 100% sure and things like that, and you approach them the best way possible. Because if you just say something like, you know, hey, how you going, and just like, oh, you ready to get started, blah blah blah, obviously that's not going to work. That I doubt they'd even reply. So what I find is good is just what's something that Sam actually taught me as well, because you know she's the organization girl and the technique girl, was stalk their page a little bit, as weird as it sounds. Find out what they've been up to recently, something they're very excited about. Bring that up in a random inbox so they have the appeal to reply, and they can't really not reply if you're talking about them and something they enjoy talking about. So be creative about potential lead bases. So one other thing I learned is if you're going for a rank like silver and gold and things like that, that you do need to have the backup points there if you need it. So for me, I didn't have this PC base that I needed to have these backup points. So I had about $1,500 in my back pocket prepared. I know that sounds really bad, but the way I did it so it wouldn't come out of my own pocket was I used a little technique through preferred customer lead generating system. I'll share that with you guys, not on this training, maybe a little bit after for those who want to know. Brad actually thought it was a good idea as well, so go me. Was generating a PC base through that particular technique, so that if I was to purchase products as a backup, that they wouldn't just, you know, be wasted. They'd go to people that are going to benefit from them and could add on to the residual, so I'm getting, you know, tenfold reward for it as well. And I can't stress how much. So I think ranks like director and things like that are ranks that you can do by yourself. For me, I was very fortunate to have just an awesome team that did pretty much about 80% of the work for this run. I'll give most of the credit to them. We all ran as a team, and it was a team effort. So one of my biggest goals is to get everyone to silver as quick as possible, not just me. So yeah, and part of that is just prospect as a team and with your team every day. Book appointments with your team every day. So what we did as well, just to sort of generate our database again, going back to that database thing, is spend one of your prep nights, so that preparation nights that we're talking about, expanding your contact list. Because a lot of us really limit who we can talk to. A lot of us think, oh, we can just talk to these people that we think will be interested. And I stress to new associates every day, who you think will be interested will not be interested. And it's not always the case, but it usually is. And they still think, oh yeah, but you don't know this person, you know, they will be interested. And then when they say no, they get really discouraged. And I just say, look, I told you. My first, other than Johanna, my first associate was a guy I hadn't talked to in 4 years. So don't limit your contact list. So first we established that point, and we expanded the contact list by about 40% just from that. then what we'd do is we'd all go through the Eric Worre memory jogger together and pretty much just access any possible occupation and person that we could know, and go through the degrees of separation, or whatever it's called, to expand our contact list more. And then another technique we used to expand our contact list was what Jake Hamilton sort of shared. I don't know if it's someone else uses it or if he invented it or whatever, but it's where you write down the alphabet, so you go A, B, C, D through to Z, and you write every name you can think of in A, so like Andrew, Allison, whatever, and just write as many as you can think of, and then last names will pop up through people you remember, and do the same for B, C, etc. Jake said he added about an extra 20 contacts just by doing that. So that really opened my eyes. Yeah, and like I said, booking presentations as a team with your team, so you know the schedule. You can all book it together. Our team personally, we gather around Joe's house, and we get the Apple TV. For those of you that don't know what that is, that's just we just have the Apple TV connected to the TV. So pretty much what we can do is we can just sync our phone or our laptop or iPad to the TV so you can see our screen. And when we're prospecting, everyone can see our conversation for those that need help, and everyone can get feedback, and we can get stuff done quicker and be more productive. Another thing I want to touch up on throughout the statistical part of this, this training, is how important ratio is. So ratio is in your favor. As annoying as ratio can be with the amount of no's you get, it is in your favor, because there's only a certain amount that you can do where you have a guarantee that X amount of people will get started. So just another example, if you need a minimum of 10 associates for your run, then you need to have at least 30 presentations booked, which really isn't that much. It's very doable. So I'm just going to share now, pretty much to the point, why is this so important? I'm going to share my experience. I wasn't going to go into my numbers, particularly with my business, the amount of associates I have, etc. But I think it's just important to show you a real live version of growth and where I've come from, because a lot of people don't realize that 6 months ago I was just a believer, and a lot of my downline now are pretty much like 80% of them are above that, so they're well on their way and they're beating me. And I think we really seem to think like, oh wow, silver's this magnificent rank, and it is awesome, but it's very achievable, and I think we put it out of our own reach when it's very close to us, especially if you're a builder. So ratio, out of every 12 people in your business, 2 will be diamond directors. And what I mean by that is not everyone that gets started, like we say, will desire it for life and work at it for life. It works out to through my experience, about 2 out of 12. So that seems like not very much, but every 2 people, sorry, Sam's just messaging the crap out of me. Yeah, that's right. So each diamond means a minimum of 20 people in your business a year. And I've actually gone through not just my business, but I don't know if Brad knows this, but I've sort of gone through his growth, because he shares his growth with me. We sort of give each other feedback, and it works out that each leader, you'd call it, in your downline through that ratio means about an extra 20 people minimum annually. So this is where ratio really comes to benefit you. So I'm just going to share why, and I'm going to share my experience numbers-wise, where I've come from January to now, and just show you guys just how important running is and what it means for your income. I don't know if a lot of you know that I'm not in a job anymore. Yes, I don't have a mortgage, but I do have every other cost. I have car bills, I have food bills. Mum never has food in the house, so I'm always buying my own food, and I'm always here and there, and I'm driving around a lot. I have a lot of expenses, but I have money now. And, like I said, I don't have a mortgage, but it's just awesome to have this sort of luxury where I'm earning a minimum of $400 a week, which is, that's not a lot, but it is for a 20-year-old. And the fact that your income, like you can see here, is going up, I'll be working towards earning minimum $600 now that I'm silver a week. So I'll sort of share with you my numbers. So building your business to 10, by the way, for you new associates, is the first and hardest part of your business. So it does get easier. 60% of people quit before they achieve this. So not in the first month, but over about 3 years, 60% of the people that started quit before they get, or drop off the radar before they get to that 10 associates. But out of those 10 associates that they've sponsored or nearly sponsored, 2 of them you get to work directly with that desire it more than their own upline did. So the fact of the matter is that anyone can do it. It just depends how much people desire it. So business sprints, as I've stressed throughout this whole thing, are essential for your growth. If you've been you sign up over 6 months and you haven't pushed, and by push I don't mean those 1 to 3 month pushes, I mean just a little kick, you're due for one. You need one for your growth. It's not something you can just say, look, you know, I'm not gonna aim for a rank, because let's admit it, like rank, we all want to hit a particular rank, and then the check that comes with it is awesome as well. So like I've said, business loves speed and nothing less. Every diamond director, and this isn't coming from me, this is some feedback I've had from my upline and my upline's upline. Every diamond director breaks their business down to 4 to 8 big pushes. So, and those particular pushes are sort of like 1 to 3 month pushes, but the small sprints and initial steps get you to those pushes where you can sort of expand your income and your business to, you know, 6 figures and above. So this is my growth, and I just want to show you how the ratios have played out for me, because I've recorded it, and I do record it, and I've learned a lot from Sam. Sorry, my thing's just gone off for some reason. Yeah, so the first part just here is January. So this is when I was a builder, and this is actually about 9 associates on the first left. I don't know if you guys can like see my mouse. But yeah, so that's about 9 associates. And from there, that first dark green one is director. And then the next parts are, you know, my growth from director to silver. And the biggest thing that I look at here is the fact that my team went from 10 to about 23 when I went director. So that's, even then, like when you look back, if you have a team of 100 plus, it doesn't look like that much. But what that meant for me was I get to work with 3 extra awesome leaders or diamonds that are going to build their team immensely throughout the years. So you get to work with awesome people. The middle part is my leader ratio. So obviously to silver now I have a team of around about 55 associates, which I never saw myself, you know, sort of establishing a year ago. It's one of those things, like you look at yourself now and you look back and you remember what you were thinking back in the day. You go, man, no way would I ever have that. I don't know how long that's going to take me, where I'm going to find all these people. You don't find them. You just work with awesome people, and that's the beauty of USANA. Now I have around about, and by no means am I picking out people, by the way. I'm not picking out people that are leaders or that are diamonds. It's just the ratio. Anyone can choose to be these leaders. Every single person in my downline, these 55, could be like those leaders and a diamond director if they wanted to. It's just that some won't desire it as much as the others. Now going back to what each associate means growth-wise, so 13 times 20 is 250 plus annually. So keep me accountable with this. I'm probably on, you know, a live webinar with about 50 people. Keep me accountable. This time next year, I'll have a team of over 250 people. And it's just the way the ratios play out. And I think that's what we really underestimate. Like, if you've grown your team to 10, congratulations, you're well on your way and you're growing faster than I did. And this is a quote that Sam shared with me. I just wanted to share it. It's probably my most favorite quote, and it really just justifies any laziness that I've ever had in myself towards my business, and it makes me feel guilty as hell. If your mentor said he would give you $50,000 to sponsor 5 new associates this week, not family or favors, you know, like not like, hey, you know, cousins, let's get on board, I'm going to get 50 grand. But, you know, legitimately sponsoring, would you do it? And obviously the answer is, of course you would. But if you really understood the true potential of this business, you'd understand that sponsoring 5 new people this week, right now, will make you much more than 50,000 in the future. So that's by Big Al. And the only thing that's stopping you from achieving that is whether you believe the potential of that or not. And I think that just really woke me up, and it just gave me a massive kick up the butt, that did. So obviously, you know, the question is, why aren't we doing that? Because we could all do that, as we've just agreed. If 50,000 bucks is on the line, which as we've established now, it is, we should be doing it. So I'm just going to finish, I'm actually going to admit Brad requested I share what I think is normal and what should just be happening if you want to succeed in this business, and what I've learned personally that shouldn't be happening if you want to succeed. So what I refer to as diamond business models. I'm not a diamond, I'm sorry guys, but this is just what I've learned. So first is, it is not normal to have 0 presentations booked a week. If you don't have a presentation booked this week, why the hell not? Get one booked. You know you've met over 10,000 people in your lifetime. Find one of them and book a presentation in. It really just comes down to your desire. It is not normal a month to be earning no check a week. And there are some exceptions with this, but if you've earned a check in the past, you should be earning a check, at least every fortnight. No matter how big or how small, just make that your goal, because that means growth at the end of the day. And it is not normal to sponsor 0 people a fortnight either. It is not normal to drop off the radar. When I listen to diamond directors like Joan Asby, she said she's never dropped off the radar. She's earned a check every week since she started. And the reason she's a diamond director is purely down to this fact that she has sponsored someone every week, or she has earned a check every week. Dropping off the radar doesn't happen. There are some exceptions. There are, maintenance periods. There are like, okay, I'm going to take this day off for this and that, but don't switch off. If you go off the radar for a week, that can be very damaging to your entire business. And even if you don't have a downline yet, it doesn't matter. It's just your commitment. It reflects on who you are and your commitment and your belief towards your own future, not the company, not anyone else's business, but your own income and your own why as well. It is not normal to not respond to your upline or downline. If my downline messages me, I'll always get back to them. And if I haven't, I apologize. Message me again and say, oh, you haven't replied. And I'll reply to you and I'll sort it out. I'll do everything I can. And if your upline messages you, message them back. They don't care what the answer is most of the time. They just want an answer. And it's definitely not normal to skip training. So, obviously there are some exceptions, but at least make the recording, and it's not normal to skip personal development either. And another thing is, it is definitely not normal to skip your auto order. Even if you're not earning a check, it's just about that commitment again and how committed you are to your future. If you really understood the potential and knew where you were going 100%, and you were not lying, you believe where you were going, you'd be on auto order for the first year, even if you didn't earn a check for whatever reason. I remember when I started, I had no money. And when my auto order came around, I had no money. And then my next auto order came around and I still had no money. In fact, I had less money. I had $900 less. And I guess what? I paid for every single one somehow, just because I believed in it all. And what is normal? So it is normal for people to pull out. So this is more for the leaders. It is normal for people to pull out. They didn't desire it for themselves, and trust me, they won't go far. Unless, they've just founded their own company or something, they won't go far. It is normal to feel discouraged. We all feel discouraged sometimes. The point is to just get over it quickly as possible. And to do that, talk to your upline and get a pump up. Don't whinge to them. Just say, hey, I'm feeling down. Send me a video that's going to cheer me up or something. It is normal to get negative feedback and objections. So I can't stress this enough to the new associates. If you get negative feedback, don't think, wow, negative feedback? I thought USANA was amazing. It is amazing. Those people just aren't amazing. I don't know if that makes sense. I know it's a little bit straightforward, but the truth is they just don't understand. It's normal to get negative feedback, and I'm the king of getting objections thrown at me, especially from my family. It is normal for people not to show up. So this is going to happen no matter what. This is an issue that can be corrected in most cases where, we can edify a little bit better and things like that. But it's normal for people not to show up. So if someone doesn't show up, don't think, oh my God, why didn't they show up? I'm not going to book another appointment. You need to make up for that. Book another appointment or reschedule them and make sure they're serious the next time. It is normal to get out your comfort zone. If you feel nervous, that's good. That means you're doing something right. And it is normal to not receive immediate return. I know I said if you've earn a check every week. Until you've earned your first check, it's okay not to receive a check in your first fortnight. It's okay to not receive. I didn't earn a check until my 9th week into the business. Simon Chan, 3-star diamond director, didn't earn his first check until like 10 or 11 weeks into the business. And just one thing, I haven't put it in here, but I forgot to add it in. I just want to share it just before we finish it up. Just for new associates and for leaders and pretty much everyone, don't think that your upline is talking to your downline, and don't think that they're doing the downline training for you. Because the fact of the matter is, if they've got a pretty sizable team established, that they're not. We need to learn how to step into leadership. And I myself have had massive leadership challenges, and it's taken me a long time to realize that it's all in my hands, because at the end of the day, it is a team, but it's your own independent business. And part of that means babying and taking care of your new associates, because you want the best for them. I hope I got the point across. I was really excited to share with this training. I didn't really have a structured, I'm sorry if it's taken too long, I just wanted to get this across. I didn't have a structured way to get it out there, but I hope he's got the feel of it and you understand where I'm coming from. And I'll hand it back to Michael. Hopefully he still has time to share.
That was brilliant. That surpassed my expectations by far, man. That was amazing, and I know that everyone else agrees with me when I say that it was phenomenal. Thank you very much, Dave. Now, guys, it is a bit late. All right, well, it is approaching 10:20, or it is 10:21 now. I was going to go over convention just a little bit. It's a 5-minute presentation, so I'm going to leave it up to you guys if I should go over it now or do it next week, because it is pretty late. So if you can just type in the chat box whatever you guys reckon. Do it. All right.
My convention's only a couple of weeks away, so you got to do it so we can get as many people on board with us. Flights are going up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It is recorded, so if you want to go, you actually can. So I'll get it started. All right, convention. Man, I am pumped. I cannot wait to go to convention and meet everyone. Seriously. Now, I'll tell you what this is not. This is not one of them pre-convention pep talks where we go over the schedule and this and that. There is going to be a separate call specific for those attending convention, right? Which is going to have all those details. The reason for this tonight is because I know that there's people that are still sitting on the fence and they're not too sure, all right, whether they should be going, whether it's money, whether it's a job. Now, I'm not here to push you over that fence, but I am going to say, please don't let small obstacles get in the way of a big opportunity. All right, I mean, when I went to convention, all I could afford, well, actually, I couldn't. All I got money for was an aeroplane ticket, and that was it. I borrowed money to buy an aeroplane ticket. I boarded that plane with $30 in my pocket. Now, you might think I'm mad, and I am, but I did whatever it took to get there. All right. When you book a hotel at convention, you don't have to pay until you actually get there. So I was actually all right until I got there. Now, the idea was that when I land, I get paid from my full-time job, right? So I was hoping to God while I was on that flight that when I land, my work hadn't paid me a day late, because I had before, right? It was risky. So what happened is I land, I get my bags, I catch a cab, right? And I give them the address. And I'm watching that meter like a hawk, right? It gets to $30, and my heart starts pounding. It gets to $40, to $50, and I say to the cab driver, "Do you mind pulling over at a bank so I can run in and grab cash out?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." So we end up finding Bank of America. I run in, and lo and behold, I got paid. All right, so I rip out $150 and went back to the cab on our merrily way. Now, what happens next is you go to Salt Lake City, and I tell you, this picture does not do it justice. It is just a beautiful town. Now, if you're on the call and you've been to convention, you can vouch. It is phenomenal, all right? And what happens is you're driving to your hotel room and you might just drive past the actual convention center where Usana is being set up, right? And you'll notice that the lampposts, everything, there are Usana signs everywhere. It becomes Usana Town, all right? They love it. Then you get to your hotel. It is luxurious. I mean, what you see on TV, what you see in the movies, it's actually like that. It's actually like that, right? I mean, the first time that I went to convention, I was staying 3 blocks up. And I'm telling you, it was luxury and a half. I mean, you had marble walls everywhere. You had giant spiral staircase, giant chandeliers, a live piano playing down here, right? And I know that some of you guys that are going to convention, you're not exactly staying across the road or right next to convention center, but don't let that stress you out. It is so easy to get to convention. I mean, get this. They got these little taxis where there's a guy on a push bike, and you sit down on these seats, and he doesn't stroll down the street. He speeds at full pace. It is the most fun cab ride ever. If you get the chance, do it. and it's cheap as like $5, $3. Amazing. Now, what you learn at convention will transform your business. All right. The experience you have at convention will impact your life. All right. We have incredible speakers, incredible, and you always have guest appearances. I mean, last year we had MC Hammer show up. All right. And the thing is, you get to meet them. They're walking around. Everyone that you see are walking around amongst you. You get to meet them. You get to see them. Walk up to them. Approach them. Talk to them. Right? Dr. Dennis Waitley, this guy here has been around from the inception of the personal development industry as we know it, right? From Zig Ziglar, right? He was really good friends with Jim Rohn, right? I was very fortunate enough last year to spend 5 minutes with the man, and I asked him questions, and I'm telling you, he transformed my life. And I know that sounds a bit overboard, but I'm being for real. Like, the man's phenomenal. He's there every year. Now, this is the guy, all right? He's speaking this year. If you don't know who he is, this guy is advisor to Tony Robbins himself. Tony Robbins rings Brendan Burchard for advice. Now, I'm not sure what he's speaking about, but if he's speaking about branding yourself, that's the guy you want to learn from. If he's talking about marketing, that's the guy you want to learn from. If it's about partnerships, again, that's the guy you want to learn from. All right, I've done 3 of his courses, and I can tell you, he knows his stuff. All right. And then we got the man himself. We have Tony Robbins this year. I'm so pumped. And you know what? I don't think I need to edify him much. If you don't know him, YouTube him. The man is electrifying. We got Dr. Oz. All right, Dr. Oz always provides value every year. He's a lot of fun, and you actually learn a lot from him, right? And then Dr. Moran Wentz. When he speaks, the room is silent. He is encapsulating. The first time I heard him speak, he was talking about them, all right? He was talking about water and like the fluoridation in our water. And he was talking about things that he was picking his words very carefully on how to talk, on how to say what he wanted to say. And it really dawns on you that Usana is much more than just a health company. It's much more than a business. It's deeper. It's deeper than that, right? So again, what you learn at convention will transform your business. So when you get there, you got registration. We got a registration as a team, and you start seeing leaders show up, right? Then the Usana shop is open. This is what I'm hanging out for, right? Shopping. this shop here has everything. All right. Get this. They have stuff that you cannot buy anywhere else but International Convention. For example, they have Nutrimeal that's orange flavored. They got cappuccino flavored Nutrimeal. They got everything. It's really hot outside, right? So they even have Rev 3 icy poles. You got people walking around licking their Rev 3 icy pole. That woman there, she's purchased a shake with fruit and whatnot. It is amazing. Then on day one we have Ulsana Fest, right? The whole corporate team perform. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. And you know what? This is only day one. I'm not even going to go through day 2, 3 and whatnot. This is only day one, right? And I've only barely touched it. Ulsana Fest. When I went the first time, Ulsana Fest was an 80s themed, right? That is me. But look at him, right? It is a lot of fun, guys. And they're always exceeding expectations. First time I went, I walked away with a free iPad. The second time I went, I walked away with a business that pays you more because they upgraded the payment plan, right? And what's more important than going there and having that sort of experience is going there and spending time with your family, right? Because that's what we are. We're more than just a team, right? We're a family, and I cannot wait to see everyone there. I cannot wait to see you. And if you're that person that's sitting on the fence and you're not so sure, I hope I've swayed you, all right? I hope I've swayed you, and I cannot wait to see you there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I tried to not go for too long, but I'm going to copy tonight's link, and I'm going to paste it. Yes, remember to bring your joggers too. Coffee, Nutrimeal. Yup. No sleep. It is fair income. It is non-stop. It is boom, 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 boom. It is Ulsana Fest. Tony. All right, let me paste this, guys. If you have any questions as well, do post them. Okay. Awesome. You're sleeping on the plane. That's right. Oh, Michaela, that's lovely. It gets better and better every week. Your selfies, I love it. It's gonna be a blast. So guys, I hope to see you all there, right? All right. So guys, if you think of any questions for tonight, I've posted tonight's recording. Post your questions there, and it will be open all week. Okay. So.
Mike, can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, guys. Okay. Another thing you could do. You could sell everything you have that you're not using or that's time wasting in your house. Or you could also get a credit card that has 55 days interest free. And from what you learn at convention, if you put it to action, you will no doubt make it back before you have to start paying interest on what you've spent on your credit card. So however you can get there, guys. And don't forget to go to student flights because they are a bit cheaper than the normal flight agencies around. So if that is an idea no one has thought of, go ahead and do it, yeah? Have a great night, guys. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, everyone. Good night.